Yes, I am.
All right. We'll call the meeting to order, and it is Tuesday, November 11th of 2025. This is the Stoughton City Council, and the first item of business would be the roll call.
Okay, Wozniak Scanlon.
Here.
Sherlucky.
Here.
Hirsch.
Here.
Jensen.
Here.
Reeves.
Here.
Butler.
Present.
Schumacher.
Joyously here.
Viano.
Joyously.
Here.
Okay. Nino.
Here.
Caravello.
Here.
Okay, we have 10 alders present. We have Alder Tillison and Abel absent and excused.
All right, thank you. We are certified of compliance with open meetings laws. We do have a need for a public hearing regarding the 2026 budget, so we would close our regular meeting and open it for the public hearing. And we do have one person that signed up that can either speak now during the public hearing or during public comment. What would you like to do, Nick?
It doesn't matter. I can speak now.
All right, the floor is yours. You have up to 3 minutes.
Great. Thanks so much, everyone. My name is Nick Pevich, and I live in Madison, Wisconsin. And I just wanted to call and express my excitement and support of the budget that y'all attribute to the Stoughton Opera House. I currently serve as the chair for the City of Madison Arts Commission. I'm a graduate with an MBA with a focus in arts administration from the Wisconsin School of Business. And I just wanted to share a really quick story, so I only grew up an hour east of here in Pewaukee. And when I first moved to Madison when I was 18 in 2009, I was a freshman. I didn't know anything really about Madison. We spent most of our time in the Milwaukee area growing up for culture and entertainment. And this was in the time pre-cell phones especially. And I would go and I would pick up the Isthmus every single week. I would pick up all the newspapers around town. And thanks to ads in the Isthmus and coverage, I learned all about the city of Stoughton thanks to the incredible concerts that have been coming to your city for a great number of years. And I just wanted to communicate heartfelt appreciation for the fact that that venue within our greater metro brings such incredible talent that, draws people from all over the metro and beyond to come see shows. So that's all I had to say. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks for being here. Hope to see you there at a show. All right.
You will.
And nobody else was signed up at the public hearing. Did anybody else want to speak at the public hearing before I close it? All right, we'll close the public hearing. We'll reopen for our regular business. Nobody was signed up for public comment, so we'll go right to communications and presentations. And we'll start with President Schumacher, the birthday guy.
Happy birthday to me. All right, I've got something, of course, because we're on Veterans Day. So first, just a statement that I have. Today we honor and thank all veterans for their courage, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication to protecting our freedoms. Your service, whether at home or abroad, has preserved the values that define our nation. We recognize the hardships you faced, the strength you've shown, and the selflessness you continue to embody. Your commitment inspires gratitude and respect from all of us who benefit from your bravery. Thank you for your service, your sacrifice, and your enduring example of honor and resilience. Then after that, now we need a historical part of it, right? So I was looking through the collection at both the library and the Historic Society have collections of letters from soldiers during the Civil War. So this is a letter from Philo C. Buckman to his brother. I'm just going to read out what the letter is as he wrote it to his brother. This is May 8th, 1860. Brother Fred, yours of April 29th or May 1st was received in good time. I've not been as prompt as I will be hereafter in answering letters. I have had too much to do of late playing ball. We have got a wicket ball and baseball, and we play most of the time. We've not drilled but about 3 hours a day, and we have some gay old times. Captains and lieutenants all go in. Today is warm and pleasant. Colton has gone over to Fredericksburg, and Jones is officer of the day. So I shall have to drill the company. This regiment has got all new hats, tall black ones, and we look gay. And we have got a new brigadier general. He was a captain in the regulars army. He will probably be very strict with us. His name is Gibbons of the Washington Battery. We're expecting to march for Richmond soon. Probably been off air. This is if Yorktown had not been evacuated. And we hear bad news from Corinth. I don't credit the report. We hear all kinds of news every day, but all I can say is that we are here and have not seen any rebel soldiers in arms yet, and don't know when we shall, but it's not our fault, for we're ready and willing any time. The health of Company D is very good. 5 was reported sick this morn. One of them, William Miles, went up to hospital, and one man, John Allen, is crazy. Part of the time he seems to be quite rational, as I have command of the company today. I have give 15 or 20 a pass to go over to the river to swim, so we don't drill this forenoon. Fred, don't let this lodge go down, for I want to go on when I get home. I claim to be a good Templar now, as though I never had enlisted. What is the rip with Louisa Webb? I hear old Henry asked him, how much did you get for your wagons? We had a gay old dance right before last on our drill ground. 3 or 4 musicians and danced 7 or 8. This brigade is camped near together and all on quite good terms and all join in. And in fact, we are now enjoying ourselves better than any time heretofore. Received for any emergency, yeah. I am going to try to get a pass to go over the river to Fredericksburg. Don't know I can get one or not. We heard last night that Kalloch had got scooped at Corinth and he had lost 40,000 men. You can't depend on nothing you hear. Somebody stole my new cap last night that played $2 a few days ago. But I got new hats just in time. I don't got any news to write, but if I write often, you must not be particular, as I know you are not. I got a letter from Hill and Jane and will answer soon. I guess I'm played out news and I will stop. Write me soon. Yours, Philo Buckman. Company D, 7th Regimented. I'm not sure what that one is. RWV. Do you know what RWV would have been?
Why are you looking at Greg? He was in here for the Civil War.
No, I mean, I don't know if that would have been.
Greg, is there something you need to tell us?
I don't know if that would have been a common acronym going forward in military parlance or not.
I was in the Coast Guard. We didn't use the acronym. He was in the Iron Brigade, Wisconsin Volunteers.
That was a letter. There's a whole giant collection of them, both in the library and at the Historic Society, if you want to look at any more of them.
All right, thank you. And I know we have at least one veteran in the room, as pointed out, and that's Alder Jensen. Are there any others? And then Alderperson Tillison is at the Governor's Mansion representing Stoughton and other veterans, so that's why he's not here tonight. So we thank him for doing that. And we thank all of our veterans today. Had a chance to see a few. busy day for them. I think they were in and out of all the schools, I heard, as well as some of the other buildings, visiting people at the senior centers and assisted living, so pretty cool.
You know, at the memorial, I think, too,
Were
I
they?
saw them putting the flags up and down.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Okay. Next item under communications, senior center. I think Cindy is here. She has something to share with us. Just push the, in the red, there you go. The red light is on. You're good.
All right. I was just coming to present our latest accreditation plaque. Our senior center was accredited by the state of Wisconsin in January of this year. We've been accredited by the Wisconsin Association of Senior Centers since 1996. I've been there for all of them. So just to give you a little kind of look on what this entails, we have an accreditation committee that gets together and goes through 9 sections of different areas of the senior center and what we are doing currently, what are some things that would be a good idea for us to do in the future, what can we do better. And so it is a really important process we go through it every 5 years, but it is important for us to keep looking at our community, our older adults, and how can we serve them better. And so it was again, a great process. Our staff is a help through it as well, but I wanted to bring that to your attention and thank our volunteers that help us do that. So any questions about our accreditation? Thank you. Thank you. So that's what we did. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then we had a request to have an update from the Stoughton Food Pantry, so Mike Hager is here to do that. Welcome, Mike. And you can just push the button for the red light to come on.
Got a handout.
Okay.
If you could get anything, or if I could get anything.
And just push the button and the red light will come on the microphone there. Good.
I was asked to give kind of an update on where we are as a food pantry and what's going on, particularly, I think, in light of recent events, we'll call it. Overall, a food pantry depends on 2 things. It depends on, number 1, you have to have food to hand out, and number 2, you have to have a lot of volunteers to get the food, distribute the food, and do all the rest of the work that's involved in making a food pantry run. We've been very fortunate. We actually have a surplus of volunteers, and we're not actually even accepting more applicants for volunteers because we have almost too many volunteers, and that's been wonderful. We've got a group of about 30 of us who work a lot of hours some weeks and not so many other weeks to make the food pantry go. Financially, we're in overall very good shape. We've got a large surplus that's been built up over many years, and I'll explain where that surplus came from and also how we're going about spending it down. We are able to, at the present time, we haven't reduced any benefits. In fact, we've increased the amount of food that we're handing out in most cases. And we're trying to do the best we can to distribute healthier food, a lot of fruits and vegetables and other things that make a food pantry successful. Over the years, we acquired a fairly large surplus. When I first came on the board, and that's been, I think, 11 years ago, but I could be wrong, approximately that long. We had about a $50,000 surplus, and we wanted to keep money aside, so if the economy turns south and suddenly have higher unemployment, if other events happen where we're unable to get food at a reasonable price, we've had a surplus. That surplus went up over $300,000. It still is over $300,000. So we have a large surplus. How'd that surplus get so big? Well, the first reason is we've had a lot of large donations. We've had people making donations of over $10,000 as a group that does that almost every year. We've had lots of smaller donations this is, quote, donation month, this month and next month. And we will get lots and lots of donations. When I did thank yous, which I used to do for quite a few years, you'd send out typically 120 or 30 letters thanking Stoughton residents for their generosity in keeping the food pantry going. Additionally, we were able to join Second Harvest. Second Harvest, we were a part of Second Harvest about 10 or 12 years ago. We were kicked out. We were kicked out because the city of Stoughton is not a 501c3. And they required a 501c3 in order to be part of the Second Harvest. I discussed that with them repeatedly, and after a few years, they said, well, if you guys could come up with a way to pay the bills with a 501c3, then you can be part of Second Harvest. So we first got the help of the Stoughton Area Community Foundation, and then later we formed our own 501c3, which is now the Friends of the Stoughton Food Pantry, that collects donations and pays all the bills. Some of the bills are paid with transfers from our funds at the city. Some of those bills are paid for by people who have made direct donations to the Friends group. TFAP, is Second Harvest, up until this year, always provided free milk, free yogurt, free eggs, free milk, free meats, and a whole ton more things. That's gone. It's gone away. A lot of they still provide those things, but not free. The word free has gone away. Additionally, the Stoughton Food Pantry is part of the federal government program called TFAP, which is the Emergency Food Assistance Program. That program used to bring in, we typically get 120, 30 cases of food. Each case is generally 40 pounds. So we're getting 4,000 to 5,000 pounds of food. Those are the good days, and they provided a lot of food for our people. In a typical month, we distribute about 10,000 to 11,000 pounds of food. In addition to that, with the surplus that we had, we felt that we could afford to come up with a program to let clients purchase items at Pick and Save with vouchers that we provide for them. A family of 4 or more gets $70 a month. A family less than that gets $35 a month. In Thanksgiving and Christmas time, we used to give out baskets of turkeys and all those other good things. If you've been down to the food pantry, you know that to put 230 turkeys someplace would overwhelm us. And I mean more than overwhelm us. So they now get a voucher for that too, and those vouchers are on there too. A larger family gets $60 to spend at both Thanksgiving and Christmas. The smaller family gets $30. So we've been really quite well off. What's happened recently? Donations from people continue to be very good. I was working at the food pantry last week, and a gentleman walked in. He said, "I want to buy turkeys for you folks for Thanksgiving." I said, "Well, how many did you think you could buy?" "Well," I said, "I've got $1,000 here that I'm going to spend on turkeys for you." I said, "We've got nowhere to put them." So he counted out $1,000 in $100 bills and handed them over to me and said, "Use it for the benefit of your people." Same morning, another gentleman came in and gave us a $1,500 check. We continue to get a lot of donations from this community, and this community is really special in that regard. I used to be a village trustee in a little town in Illinois called Wonder Lake. We had a little food pantry, and we didn't have donations like that, and we didn't do very well passing out a whole lot of food. This is an extremely generous community. Second thing that's happening is Second Harvest for the last year since COVID had gotten a $6 million grant from the county each year to spend on food for Dane County pantries. This last January, that grant ran out, the COVID funding ran out, and the county isn't providing anything to Second Harvest anymore. So that's the reason why Second Harvest now charges us for milk, for meat, for yogurt, for eggs, and for a bunch of other things. It used to be all those things were free. So that's gone up. The price of food has gone up. If you go to the grocery store, I think we all know that. So that's been an issue. The Emergency Food Assistance Program has been radically cut back by the federal government. Their website and the state of Wisconsin, Department of Health Services website say, we provide enough food so that all your families are going to get 3 to 5 days worth of food. Put out a list of what we got in the last month. We got 3 cases of peanut butter, which means 36 jars. We got 438 1-ounce packages of raisins, a little plastic wrapped package. We got 3 cases of strawberries, we got 3 cases of garbanzo beans, we got some green beans, 2 cases of that. We got 2 cases of the only meat we got, 2 cases which were 16 servings of meat. We got 3 cases of Cheerios. We got miscellaneous produce, which was a total of 30 pounds. We did get 4 cases of plum, and we got 3 cases of milk. If you look at that in the right-hand column, I wrote, well, that rates, for example, when you looked at the meat, for example, 1 out of every 15 households we could give meat to. It means about the only thing we could give to every household, those 1-ounce packages of raisins. And after, if you looked at each of these things, we only generally have an average of like 48 of an item, which means after the first 48 families come through, you know what the rest get? A 1-ounce package of raisins, which will last them for 3 to 5 days, which is not going to happen. We could mail those to the federal government and see if they could survive on a package of raisins for that long. I suspect not. So that's been a major problem. We're just not getting much food from the federal government. The SNAP program was extremely up in the air until Governor Evers came through and snuck in the November funding for SNAP clients. SNAP is a critical component which people don't understand. A lot of people said, well, food pantries can make it up. The total amount of aid that SNAP delivers to clients is 9 or 10 times more than the total amount of aid given by all food pantries throughout the country. There's no way we could come up with a multiple of 10 with the amount of assistance that we need. We need the SNAP program. Hopefully this current agreement will go for more than January 31st, which I think is when the current agreement runs out again, and we'll see what happens. The economy, there's a slight uptick in the unemployment rate. That usually leads to an uptick in clients. Right now, we're serving about 230 families each month. It's about 520 people each month, individuals in those 230 families. So where are we? Well, there's a lot of uncertainty, but overall, we're in pretty good shape. We got the volunteers, we've got the food, we've got the money to get food for quite some time. So I think overall, we're in really good shape. And a special thank you should go out to each of you. The city supports their pantry. The city does all of our bookkeeping for us. The city gives us our location. The city has been a tremendous supporter, and it's been that way for the 10 years that I've been on the board, or a little longer than that. The city has been great, been absolutely great. Do we get any questions? God, I must have done a good job. I'm usually not
I
that
just want to
good.
thank you for all that you do for our community.
You're very welcome. Thank you for
I mean,
your assistance.
It's been a long time that you've volunteered too, and it's because of your leadership that, you know, our community is fed, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to do my presentation before we approve the budget, so we'll keep those items together. So we'll just keep moving. So Candy, if you're ready, you can go through your materials for the elections.
Okay, caught me off guard there. I just wanted to let everybody know that the candidate packet is out for 2026. So the first day to circulate nomination papers is December 1st. If you're not wishing to seek re-election, the deadline for the non-candidacy notice is Friday, December 26th to the clerk's department. And I guess the other deadline would be that all nomination papers and forms would be back to the clerk's department by January 6th, 5 p.m. And all of that is in the packet with a brief explanation of everything. Signatures that are required for mayor, you need a minimum of 50 and a max of 100. Alders, a minimum of 20 and a max of 40. And then, let's see, I guess the incumbents for 2026 are Mayor Swadley and Alders Viano, Nino, Jensen, and Sherlucky. And packets are available at the front desk at City Hall as well as on the city clerk's page of the city website. And that's all I have. Any questions?
All right. Thank you, Candy.
That's it. Thanks.
Okay. We'll go into our business. The first thing is the consent agenda. So there's a few items on the consent agenda, including the liquor license for the Course House. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Wozniak-Scanlon. Is there a second? Second by Jensen. Would anybody like anything acted on separately? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? None opposed. That motion carries. All right, I'm going to move item up, number 12 up. We have some guests here, and I'm going to have them come up for the Renew the Blue, and I'll get some slides up here on the screen for them, and then they can do their presentation. Just going to take me a second to find them. There's that. All right, go ahead. You can introduce yourself and just tell me when to advance the slide.
Thank you, Mayor, and also thank you for being my AV assistant to advance the slides. My name is James Ty. I'm the Executive Director of the Clean Lakes Alliance, a local nonprofit here in Dane County that only works on the water quality in the Yahara watershed. We are here to present to you have the City of Stoughton formally join Renew the Blue Council. So the next slide. The starting back in 2008 and 10, the county board, the City of Madison, the DNR DATCAP came together to start working on the water quality in the lakes. It then grew from those four to the Clean Lakes Alliance, brought on the business community and nonprofits in 2012. And then in 2019, we brought on 19 organizations with the signature page there, which is also in your packet, to bring more people involved. The idea that the more we align our values and the more we align our goals, the better we are as a community. Next slide. So then we published with 19 organizations through the pandemic in a community plan to a stakeholder roadmap of what every group can do to reduce runoff to the Yahara watershed and the river and the lakes, then going into the Rock River. So we have a role for government, a role for agriculture, residential and commercial spaces, builders and developers, and open and park space managers. So then next slide, it sort of focuses in two areas. The first area is the Renew the Blue top impact actions, the direct actions that are the highest priority in our community to reduce phosphorus to our lakes and start looking at E. coli. So we have those actions, those 7. I'm not going to go through them. They're also in your packet. So then the next slide, try to also keep this short in mind of, because it's also my birthday on Sunday, and so I want Brett to be able to go home and enjoy his evening. Then we have the indirect actions. So in order to do something, you also have to do something else to make that happen. So the indirect actions are, one is to continue and expand the partnership, which is the members, increase the participation for farmers, telling other farmers to do the right thing. Because if you look at me, if I go out and talk to a farmer, I'm not a farmer. My grandfather's a farmer, but I'm disconnected. So it's better to prop up and let other farmers who are doing the right thing, have them tell our farmers. So Clean Lakes Alliance created Yahara Pride Farms back in 2012 and have donated to them nearly $1 million to do projects throughout the watershed. So the other actions you can see there is doing a shoreline inventory of the river and the lakes, find out ways to start testing for E. coli better, not just how much E. coli, but where it's coming from. And we're about to get something passed through Dane County Public Health around that. And then the last part, which is also part of what I'm going to present to you, is to continue to track and report progress. So the next slide. So this is why I'm here today. I'm asking the city of Stoughton to formally join the Clean Lakes Alliance and participate in the council. I asked, Brett is actually representing also the cities and villages on the council. I asked him if he wanted to make this presentation. He said, it's my birthday, I'd rather not today, but next time. Next slide. So the idea is that acting together for healthy lakes and shorelines for the watershed, that's the sort of the mission statement. The more you bring together, the better. Next slide. In the water, so improve the water clarity with fewer cyanobacteria blooms, reduce the amount of runoff from the land, look at our shorelines and the rivers and the lakes and how can they be improved, and then bring all the stakeholders together so everybody is moving together towards a goal. And I think when you start breaking down lines between neighborhoods and developments and agriculture and different communities, the better we are. Next slide. So we'll be coming out next year with a land health assessment report. This Clean Lakes Alliance does an annual water quality assessment as part of our State of the Lakes. So we will tell everybody, how many algae blooms there were or different things about the water in the lakes. But the land health assessment can only happen when everybody participates. So the idea is that if you imagine if the city adds on parkland, if you improve your stormwater, if you do those things, that's wonderful for Stoughton. But for the larger community, it wouldn't be nice to know as a collective what we have done. So creating those 5 easy understandable metrics, starting those other things also like green infrastructure, and then creating a baseline to move forward as individually, but together. Next slide. We're using a collective impact framework, which is being led by our facilitator and our project manager, Allison Liebel, who has a lot of background in that. And how do you get different organizations with similar agendas but separately work together? Clean Lakes Alliance is the backbone organization for this. Next. We are now at 25 organizations and growing. So we were remember in 2010, we were at 4, then we went to a little bit more than that, then we were at 19, but now we're doing a really effort to meet with governmental municipality units, other government units like MMSD, USGS, and also weaving in the nonprofit organizations and even the Ho-Chunk Nation. Next slide. So they've actually all signed. We're asking you today to sign the letter of intent that's part of your packet, designate 2 delegates as part of the council. One would be somebody who's elected. Another one could be somebody who's elected or somebody from the city staff or somebody who's on a committee. And then the final is a small but sort of meaningful financial idea that if we all pool our resources together, we can help with facilitation and the activities of the council. So it's a late in the season request of $125 for this year, and then to support our work in the last quarter of the year, and then a full year as below. And then I think I'm open for questions.
All right, thank you. Are there any?
Was it too fast? Sorry.
Nope. Are there any questions?
I guess on this last slide,
Oh, hit your mic there, Richie.
on this last slide, are you asking for 125 for this year and then 500 for 4 year, or what is the 250 and 1,000?
Yeah, so there are 2 buckets. One is to become a member of the Clean Lakes Alliance. So all the other municipalities, government entities, nonprofits, individuals, corporations are members of the Clean Lakes Alliance, that organization, which we are at. The other one is a donation of support to do the work of the council. So the council will meet 5 times a year. We are using a facilitator to do that work. There's working teams that are going to look at, like one of the examples is you probably have an ordinance in Stoughton on how to build a rain garden, or maybe not. But Middleton has one, but it's a little bit different in Waunakee and then a little bit different in Verona. And it's really hard to communicate to the wider community, this is how you build a rain garden when everybody's different. So the support of the work group. So it's the facilitation and management, and then the annual reporting of the community where that money is going. So it's 2 different buckets.
I guess I'm still confused of what would Stoughton be, they would be in both buckets?
Yes, we're asking Stoughton to become a formal member of the Clean Lakes Alliance
And then,
and then give support of the council specifically to do the work of the council.
okay.
It's like, think of it as a grant or a sponsorship is the bucket on the right.
Okay.
Any other questions? I guess my question would be is, we go through and hopefully, this gets passed. When would you need the delegates to be in place? Do you have meetings set up, or when do they typically meet?
Yes, so the delegates meet on the second Wednesday of the month at 2:30, 5 times a year. And I can provide that calendar to you.
Okay.
Is that what we're seeing that starts February 4th?
Yes, that first one is the kickoff event,
Okay.
which is part of, so it's not on the first one, but the rest of them are. And then right after that, there's a educational series that we hold right after the meetings.
Okay. Yeah, so we would probably have to recruit somebody, and, we would probably look at our sustainability committee, or, put something on our social media or something to see who might be interested. Are you looking for any particular expertise, or just somebody that really?
I think somebody who has the passion and the time commitment. Somebody who's, if it's staff, council members, or somebody who's on a committee, any one of those. I think the idea is to have a diverse voice there, so it's not just nothing against engineers if they're in the room, or nothing against politicians, but it's good to have a well-rounded to represent Dane County, to have different voices at the table.
And is President Schumacher considered the other delegate then?
He could wear 2 hats if he would like. He doesn't need to. You can choose any one elected official.
I'll let him decide
Okay.
that. But certainly he's representing us on the cities and villages, and that's really where I learned of your organization, was at one of those meetings, and I thought this is something that we're already kind of participating in with our street programs and the leaves and phosphorus, and working even with our surrounding townships. We share equipment and resources to help them manage theirs as well. So we like to build those partnerships and collaborations, and to me, this seemed like a natural.
If I could add additional comment, the Yahara River also, as you know, at different times has different flow and different things like that. And so part of the shoreline survey will, over time, include the river to assess how stable that shoreline is. And then hopefully the idea is that we'll, as a community, be able to go get some large dollars to fix any problems that we identify.
All right, anybody else have any questions? Thank you for being here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to queue up the resolution so we can take action on that.
Thank you for your time.
You bet. Okay. I have the resolution, and President Schumacher offered to introduce it.
All right, introducing resolution number R-164-2025. This is a resolution to join the Renew the Blue Council. So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Reeves. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Regina did have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Oh, we had a question or a comment.
Well, I guess Brett, I guess I'm kind of unclear. You're volunteering to be on this as well as all your other committees?
Right, well, I'm already, outside of even the council, I'm representing Dane County Cities and Villages Association.
And so you wear two hats?
2 hats.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we can talk about the delegate, or is that the second hat that you're referring to?
Second hat, yeah.
You know,
I mean, I'm already there, so as long as it's legal.
we got a thumbs up from the back, and then we would search for either another alder or a community member to fill the second slot.
Somebody that sounds like somebody that's already on one of our committees, not
That would
just-
be, I think, ideal.
Right.
That's where we would start. So if you or anybody that, you know, on the committee would be interested, they can, you know, reach out to myself. And then I don't know what the appointment process would be for that. Do I just appoint somebody, or do you guys have to approve that? I guess I should have asked you for the delegate.
You could just send an email to us saying that the two people, long as one's elected and one is
Okay.
somebody that you approve. Great. If it's somebody who's on the committee, great, but if you decide it's outside of that, we also accept it.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. So all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, that motion carries. So we'll go back to our, item number 6 was old business, and that's our resolution for the budget. And what I'll do is I'm just going to give that quick summary, and it's going to be basically the same one I gave at the last meeting, in case there were any alders that weren't here or community members that were not able to tune in for it. So I'll just share that quick. All right, so budget highlights for 2026. As you might recall, 70% of our budget is salary and benefits, and we had record growth as measured by the net new construction 3 out of the last 4 years. And what that did for Stoughton for next year is it's allowing us to begin to address our much needed staffing positions. That includes a position in streets, parks, planning department, SRO, the city's portion, and then a part-time position at the library. We were able to put in the budget a 3.5% wage increase to help retain our staff. We're planning on doing some additional work next year on our wages. Our insurance, as you probably recall, we changed from courts to GHC. We had meetings with staff. Everybody is in the process of going through their enrollment. AJ and her team has been guiding us through that. Things seem to be going really well with that. We also made some adjustments using the cost allocation study, which we're going to update again next year. And then outside of the levy, we have an EMS enterprise fund, and we have money allocated for that so we can address our pay structure for the on-call volunteers at the EMS to try to get more participation there. And once again, you know, I always like to brag that we didn't have to do a referendum or a wheel tax, which many municipalities are doing. And a lot of that, I think, is because of the work that the department heads did putting their budget together. Certainly, Director Trebetowski and you know, did a great job with her staff.
Maybe some big staffing cuts, I've heard, too.
Yeah, some municipalities are going to referendum, some are doing cuts. Dane County, you probably read all about their structural deficit that they had to work on. So we're in pretty good shape. We anticipate we'll be in decent shape next year as well. We're going to try to get ahead of the curve and project out what our net new construction might look like next year, but based on things like the Stoughton Trailers headquarters and the car wash that just opened, the Anytime Fitness will be completed. Anything that's completed by January 1st will get credit on for net new construction for the following year. And we're ahead of last year's pace, or this year's pace. We're ahead of last year's pace on the building permits pulled. I think we're at 79 and we were at 70 last year at this time. And we're on the upper end here in Dane County. Obviously Madison has a lot, but we're we've been running second or third here for the balance of the year on our single-family homes especially has been really, really good. So we're anticipating that next year we'll be hopefully in a similar position. And as I mentioned in the CIP, those are the capital projects that we borrow for. So it typically is buildings, vehicles, the land, parks, roads. Those are the expensive items that we typically do 20 to 30-year notes. I think we used to do bonds, but we're doing more notes now because there was some law changes on that. And then we did reduce the items in fire and public works to free up the money that we could use for the land that we're going to talk about later. And then we're also using some capital dollars to begin phase one of the River Haven project, which is the Alexander project the RDA has been working so hard on the last several years. So we can hopefully begin that work sometime next year. So overall, I think we're in a pretty good place. Are there any questions for me? Otherwise, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa to kind of fill in the blanks.
I wasn't going to present on anything unless I'm happy to answer questions. Presented last meeting and several times at finance. So I'm happy to answer any specific questions that you have either on the presentation, specific things in the budget.
Yeah, there's a lot of material in the packet. It looks like there's a 94-page document that your team put together. So if you haven't read through it, I would encourage you to do that. Certainly, members of the public, if you want to know where your tax dollars are going, that's a good place to start. We're more than happy to answer any questions even after the budget's approved. If you have them, because we're always looking to make our budget process better every year. And, there's only so much we can do on our operations because of the levy limit, utilizing the net new construction. The capital, we have the CIP committee works on that, and they make the recommendations for that, working with staff. And I think that they really try to only ask for what they need, and they provide good reasoning behind that, and a lot of the decisions they make actually save us money. So I think that I'm pretty happy with where we landed and the work that was done by everybody internally and those that are on the committees that got us to this point. I appreciate the time and effort. Go ahead.
I just have one question, and I was, briefly going through your document, but didn't see, as always, every year there's a number of positions that were probably asked for, and we have a number of new coming on, but is there any other positions that we're not funding this year that we should start thinking about for next year at all?
I believe we funded the requests that we had. Those requests typically go directly to Director Gillingham. She sends out the form for the staff members to fill out, the department heads, not only the request, but really the justification for the request. And then what we do is we take those to the personnel committee and they rank them. I think we funded everything that was requested.
We did fund everything, but also I just want to have a note, because Regina, that's a fantastic question. A lot of the directors did not realize that there was going to be additional funding available as we were going through the process, so they held back. So I would anticipate seeing more next year and being able to answer that. But all we dealt with is what came into us, and we were able to meet those requests.
And they weren't encouraged to hold back. They submitted what they knew they actually needed.
And then to take that a little bit further, in meeting with Brett in his department, they had asked for the one position, and Tim and I had been looking at what the workload was, doing some analysis there, and that's how we came up with that second position, knowing that a lot of that work was coming in-house. As it was saving us money, it would make sense to augment on the other side. So we had the streets, and then we added that additional position onto parks. So we actually contacted Director Hebert for that one and received his support, saying, yes, absolutely, I could use it.
Yeah, that's a position that is not only an operator, but they're going to be doing a lot of the stormwater work. So I think some of that cost is being paid for by the stormwater fund because they're going to be doing some of the native species and trying to help manage the prairies because we're getting quite an inventory of them. Hopefully we can find somebody that has the skill set to do both. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. But
Yeah, I talked to Brett about that, and there's, I mean, we can talk offline about where to actually target that would actually probably have those skills, so.
yeah, that would be really helpful because
Let's get together, because if you have some ideas, I'd be willing
Yeah,
to see what you
Brett and
know.
I talked for like an hour the other day, so I
Okay.
gave him those ideas, but I just, I don't know if, he's a busy man, if he was able to connect with you about
No, he is not.
it. Okay, all right.
so I think, going into next year, I think if we're fortunate enough to be in the same position, we're going to continue to grow. A lot of these positions were created because of the growth. We have to be able to manage that. We don't want to get too far over our skis and keep growing and not have the staff there to do it and set ourselves up where we're having to, shortcut our services. That's not what people in our community want or deserve or really pay for. So we'll continue to look at that. And we're going to have to, be creative going forward because the needs have changed. I mean, I would have never thought 2 years ago that we would be hiring somebody that would have a horticulture background. I would have never have imagined that, but here we are, and I'm glad we're in a position to do that, and there may be other positions that are the same way. Same thing with the GIS. I never really imagined that we would be hiring somebody specifically for GIS, but I can tell you last night we met with the town of Dunkirk, and that was a big part of the conversation about mapping and our partnership and identifying properties that, could be developed and properties that absolutely should not be developed surrounding our community, and having that person in that place is going to be really beneficial to that process. Any other questions? Okay, somewhere in here there's a resolution.
I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
All right.
This is Resolution R-158 of 2025, adoption of the 2026 budget and tax levy, and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Wozniak Scanlon. Last call for questions or comments on the budget. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 And any opposed? That motion carries. The next few items also came from finance. Go ahead.
All right, the next item is R-159 of 2025, declaration of official intent number 1-2026, and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Schumacher. Alderperson Butler.
Let's see how good my notes were from earlier this evening. So this is an annual resolution and allows us to cover expenditures and reimburse ourselves for costs of typically CIP expenditures in the period before we have our bond sales. Does that pretty much summarize it?
That summarizes it well.
All right.
So I just want to make the point too that the dollar amount in here is not obligating you to issuing debt for that amount. That will come with the debt issue. This is the amount of the CIP that we're putting in there to reimburse ourselves for any projects that we would have expenses before we receive our debt proceeds.
Yeah, and I think sometimes what happens is some of the projects that we thought we were going to do, maybe we won't get done. Maybe there's some grant money that we apply for and we don't know we're going to receive. And so the numbers can change. There's probably other examples. Those are a couple that I would throw out there. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any,
Aye.
And any opposed? All right, next one.
All right, this is R160 of 2025. Reduce of letter of credit with RHD Properties LLC for 51 West Development, and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alder Reeves. Alderperson Butler.
We had a chuckle on this one in finance because this, if it looks familiar, it should. We talked about this the last meeting, and in essence, this is to, you know what, I'm going to just hand it off to Lisa.
So this resolution is just a follow-up where we were going to keep a letter of credit for the Bank of Deerfield, where this changes it, where Bank of Deerfield was canceled and returned, and one community bank submitted an updated letter of credit at a reduced amount.
All right, any questions on that? This will be the last time we'll see this one.
Until it's fully reduced.
All right, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion carries. Next.
All right, this is R161 of 2025 to amend the 2025 operating budget for door access controls at City Hall, and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Nino. Alderperson Butler.
This, we've discussed this quite a few times. This is to install security at City Hall and door access. And the mayor, you can fill in.
Yeah, so basically we would have a system there where we can buzz people in and out of there for security, much like you'd see in businesses or school districts. Unfortunate reality is that's kind of the world we live in now, so we're trying to take steps to, protect our staff. There will be times where, the door won't be buzzed in for like elections or property tax collections where we have high volumes of people. We'll typically have more employees and staff, around in those times. So hopefully that will help, deter a potential situation. We also been doing quite a bit of training. I know especially the clerk's department has been doing some training, much like the school district does in businesses right now. So hopefully we don't have any issues, but this is just another way we're trying to, address things.
Can you explain how it'll work? So each staff will have like a key fob that lets you in, but then any visitor will have to press a doorbell, or?
Exactly. You'll come in the front door, there'll be a doorbell kind of in the vestibule, and when they press the button, then at the receptionist's desks, the admin assistant's desk, on their computer, it'll actually pop up a camera shot so you can see who's coming in and at least get a look at them, and then they can, basically buzz them in. So the other thing that happens sometimes is somebody will come in, let's say the person at the front desk went to make a copy or went to the restroom, somebody will walk in the front door and they'll just start wandering. This will hopefully help deter that. So, a person making a copy will hear the buzzer, they can come up and, buzz them in, and we won't have somebody wandering aimlessly, which we think will be better for everybody.
Is there going to be like an intercom, so when you buzz, the reception says who do you want to speak to, or is it just you automatically buzz in? Because then how is that adding any safety feature?
I don't know all the specifics of the features yet. We have to get it activated and do training, so that's something that we're scheduling, but I can find that out for you.
Yeah, I mean, if it's for a safety issue, there has to be, if you're just buzzing in everybody, what's the point?
Sure. Understand.
They should at least say who they're there to see.
Yeah. And I'm not really sure if anybody else here knows. I haven't really. You do? Okay, thank you.
Alder Hirsch, what the plan was when we initially were talking about adding security to that facility, we already have the card access for employees, and they're usually entering through a different door. This is for the front door, so there's that vestibule that the mayor was speaking about. The employee or the individual coming in would then walk up to the screen. The intent was to have it designed so that they would notify the individual, that's the admin at the front. The admin would then speak with the person to find out what their intention was, who they were there to see. Then we had talked about having that admin notify the person who they're there to see. That person would then come up and let them in. That was the original way that it was to be set up. I know that John is working on that right now, our IT director, and we'll have to see from there what the functions are on the door. But that was the intent. No, it was not to let people, to look at them and then let them come in. That makes absolutely no sense. It was to make sure that they were there for a purpose or to see someone, and then to be cleared by that individual to come in the building. Yep. But as the mayor said, there are certain times when that won't be activated, and that'll be during those busier times. So we'll be back to what we currently have, but that's just because of the sheer volume coming in.
Especially the elections, we can't lock the door during the
Right.
elections because people will be like, wait a minute, you know?
Yeah.
No, but it's just.
Yeah, so that's the intent of the program.
Yeah. And then the other thing is we do hold meetings at City Hall at night too, so we're trying to use this as a way to help with that as well, because right now, if you've been there in the meeting room, you listen for the bell, but if you don't hear it, somebody could go anywhere in the building and be there all night and you wouldn't even know it. So, any other questions on this one? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? That motion carries. The next one is the R-162. This is a utilities one, and Alderperson Hirsch said she would introduce it.
Sure, this is R-162 of 2025, authorizing and directing the proper city officials to approve the newly created full-time utility systems automation coordinator position with a pay rate of $50 per hour. And I so move. It was, before somebody said, it was approved by Utilities Committee by a vote of 6-0.
Is there a second? Second by Jensen. And Alderperson Hirsch, you want to explain it, or we have backup for you too?
I want backup.
All right, who would you like to, Adam, you want to do it?
I'd be happy to help here.
Okay.
So this position is going to take care of the utility SCADA and OMS systems. OMS is our outage management system on the electric side. And SCADA is the remote operation and control of all of our electronic systems. So it would be doing all the electronic work for the utility, also as a backup to the IT system for the utility.
Any questions or comments on this one, or anything you want to add, Director Gillingham? I know you worked hard on this one.
Yeah, this one, I just want to make sure everybody understands, we currently do not have IT backup other than depending upon another outside organization. So this will give us some in-house backup, which we don't currently have. But the individual will also be responsible for those duties that Director Schleicher was talking about. But having that cross-functionality and backup is very important for the utility.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this work done is, I'm going to say mechanically now. I don't know if that's the right term, and we're trying to get more automated in using the technology. Is that fair? Yeah. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? None opposed, that motion carries. Next one up is utilities budget. Did you want to introduce that one as well? 163.
Yes, R-163 of 2025, authorizing and directing the proper city officials to approve the Stoughton Utilities 2026 budget and 5-year from 2026 to 2030 capital improvement plan, or the CIP. Again, this was approved by Utilities Committee by a vote of 6-0, and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by President Schumacher. Anything you want to highlight on this one, Alder Hirsch? Or, and I know Shannon's here too, if anybody has any questions.
I know that Shannon loves to speak, and as well as the new director.
Are you going to do a full-fledged presentation, or?
No, I actually don't have anything other to add than what I presented last meeting. But again, what we have presented for the 26 budget, all of our cash flows meeting our targets, our debt coverage, our rate of returns. Just as a recap, we would be going in for a sewer rate case here in 2026, effective January. I'll be bringing that forward to you if this is approved tonight. And then we will also apply for an electric rate case in 26. But those are the highlights, the big numbers here that we talked about last meeting. If you have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Go ahead and grab one more cookie while you're right up next to it.
Any questions? Hearing none. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? That motion carries. Item number 12, we've already done. Item number 13 is the property along Williams Drive. I think Attorney Matthews is going to give us an update.
Yeah, so we don't have a closed session for this tonight, so I guess we'll just do an update. So we've been in touch with the property owner about acquiring the land. I believe we have an agreement based on the direction from the council at the last meeting. So we'll be putting together an actual offer to purchase to bring back for the council's consideration at the next meeting. I believe typically the second meeting in November doesn't happen. So it would be early December, we would have the agreement for the council's consideration. And at that point, we could make changes or move forward. So, but we'll be putting something together for a future meeting.
It seems like, in principle, we're in agreement within the range that
Right.
you've given.
Yes, I believe that based on our conversations and what we've proposed to them, it's in line with the direction we received previously.
Any questions on that? Okay, we'll be talking about this one some more. We'll move into the next one, which is R165, and that one came from the Redevelopment Authority, Alderperson Hirsch.
Sure. R165 of 2025, approving a contract with Becker Professional Services, LLC, to act as a Stoughton Redevelopment Authority Executive Director. This was approved by the RDA committee or commission on October 29th, a vote of 7-0. And I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Sherlicky. Okay, thank you. And Alderperson Hirsch, anything you want to highlight on this one?
Sure. The RDA, previously to last year, always had like executive director as a staff member, either the finance director or the, most likely the finance director, and once it was for the plan director. But with the amount of work and staff time, last year was decided to actually go have a contractor be our executive director. And as Becker Professionals have been working with the RDA for the last probably 20-some years and knows all the RDA projects and has a good handle of the blight areas within the city, we decided to go with them as the executive director. And they've just been excellent all around, helping us and directing the committee to figure out what are the best projects and what are the best areas in the city to eliminate blight. So I wholeheartedly support them. They're very good, and hope that you guys will as well.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? That motion carries. All right, well, it looks like we have 4 of them in a row for a first reading from Public Safety. You guys were busy.
We are. We really enjoy parking. It's our favorite, right, Chief? All right, so first reading, ordinance 36, 2025. It's an ordinance to amend section 70-176 to parking prohibited at all times on both sides of East Main Street from Veterans Road to the railroad tracks.
All right. Are there any questions about that? I know Director Abear is on here. I don't know if you want to give any additional information. I think there's some history with this one.
Yeah, that's actually coincides with the DOT work on East Main Street. Back in 2015, I believe there's a resolution from council to essentially make 2 bike lanes on each side of the roadway and remove the parking on East Main Street.
Alderperson Reeves?
Just a question, and I'm kind of lumping them together, which I know is not how you should be doing that, but I would just like a recommendation if there's any of these that we should waive the rules because they involve stopping and parking or stop signs. So if you have any recommendation on some that we should get approved rather than wait for the second reading, I'm just curious about that.
All right, well, we'll start with this one. Did you have any thoughts on it, Brett? I mean, it's already signed, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's signed, and Chief would probably also tell you that technically it's not enforceable unless it's ordinance, but they are signed. Like Lisa, you mentioned the stop signs. We certainly have the stop signs up, but technically they're not enforceable.
Yeah, I wasn't going to call you out. That's why, because I've signed a lot of those signs, but.
Yeah, we're getting a look over here from the city attorney.
Yeah. I'll just shut up.
But if somebody wanted to make a motion to waive the rules, you could do that. It does take a 2/3 vote, and there's no discussion.
I would make that motion.
All right, so there's a motion by Alder Jensen to waive the rule. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Hirsch. No discussion on waiving the rules. All in favor of waiving the rules on this first one, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed
Technically, it should be a roll call.
on waiving the rules?
Yeah.
I have to pull out my cheat sheet.
I think you're right. Yeah, yeah.
Then that'd have to be a roll call.
It says on my cheat sheet, suspend the rules, it just says the 2/3. It doesn't say if it needs to be a roll. We can do a roll call if you're ready, Candy.
I am.
Okay.
Sherlucky.
Aye.
Hirsch.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Reeves.
Aye.
Butler.
Aye.
Schumacher.
Aye.
Viano.
Aye.
Nino.
Aye.
Caravello.
Aye.
And Wozniak Scanlon.
Aye.
All
Okay,
right,
that's 10 others in favor.
so the rules are waived, so I would need a motion to approve it.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Second. Second by Jensen. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? That motion carries. Next one, ordinance 37 was the first reading, and Alderperson Wozniak Scanlon.
It's an ordinance to amend section 70-176, parking prohibited at all times, from South Page Street to Acker Road to Orchid Avenue.
All right, once again, this is the first reading. You certainly have the prerogative to go through the waiving the rules process if you so choose. It's up to you guys.
Rick, are we able to go the progressive route and bundle all these together? And
I wouldn't have an
Yeah.
issue with that.
You wouldn't?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
If you just specify
Okay.
which items you're waiving the
then
rules
I would
for.
like to waive the rules on the first readings of ordinance 37, 38, and 39.
Second.
So there's a
Second
second
by Butler.
from Butler on waiving the rules on the next, on 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
All right, so then we have to do, no discussion, we need to do a roll call vote for that as well.
Okay, Hirsch,
39 is the public safety officer,
The crossing guard.
crossing guard. You want to, you were going to
That's
group
probably
that?
fine,
It
too.
wasn't just the roads?
No, I think that's all right.
Huh?
I think it's all right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't just talking about the roads, that we actually had grouped in the crossing guards.
He's okay, are you okay waiving the rules on that one too?
Rules on that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you okay with that too, Alder Butler? Okay, so we're gonna waive the rules on that one as well, is the motion. So when you're ready, Candy, you can do the roll call.
okay, Hirsch,
Yes.
Jensen,
Aye.
Reeves,
Aye.
Butler,
Aye.
Schumacher,
Aye.
Viano,
Aye.
Nino,
Aye.
Caravello,
Aye.
Wozniak Scanlon,
Aye.
and Sherlucky.
Aye.
That's 10 alders in favor.
All right, so we have the rules waived on all 3. Can we bundle the motions, or should we take them separately?
Let's take them separately.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go back to Wozniak Scanlon on R130, or R37, I think it is.
37. All right, so can I,
Yeah, 037.
can I just sort of, like, 37, 2025, I move?
Yep, that's fine. Is there a second? Second by Jensen. Any discussion on this one? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed? That motion carries. And then the next one's ordinance 38.
So, 38, I so move?
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Viano. Any discussion on this one? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And then 39 is the school crossing guard.
Ordinance to amend Section 46-9, I move.
Is there a second? Second by Jensen. So this one here, we did some wordsmithing as I remember. I don't remember exactly what it was. Do you? Or maybe AJ does?
I do. This is the one where it said that we had to go to council to get approval for hiring of crossing guards. It's very difficult to get crossing guards, so we're looking to streamline it and allow it to go through the process that we were actually already using.
Okay,
I have a question.
sure.
On this one, why does it say only for crossing a highway in the vicinity of the school?
Yes.
Isn't it any road, or can it only be a highway, which is only then 51?
So highway, basically this is copied directly from the statute, and highway means any street or right-of-way in state statute, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Man, you learn something new every day.
That's right.
You should have had that on your. Okay, any other questions on this one? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
And any opposed? That motion carries. All right, and the last one,
I think that highway must refer to, like, highway robbery, I think, so it just makes it more, you can do it on any street, not just highways,
Yeah.
so.
that's why it goes through public safety, right?
Right.
Yeah, but it should say per state statute, highway, any road.
We thought it was just the DNR. It's the DOT too.
Anything that resembles a road, including the pedestrian bridge.
That's right.
Okay, and then The last one, R-166, was at Finance earlier, and I'll let, Alderperson Butler, what did we do there?
We postponed consideration to give the Grossos an opportunity to speak. They weren't available.
Yeah. So we can either make a motion to postpone, or we can take no action. But basically, they want to extend the closing date on their offer to purchase for that 2-acre lot out in the business park. And they haven't quite settled on what that date would be. We're planning on setting up a meeting with them next week with the city attorney and with finance to make sure that there aren't any other unintended consequences by moving that date, such as their letter of credit and things like that. So we're recommending that we either postpone or take no action. What would you like to do?
I'll make the motion to postpone until Finance Committee, or it comes back through Finance Committee.
Okay, is there a second? Second by Alder Reeves. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 And any opposed? And then before we go, so Candy, what were you thinking about the next meeting? Anything, or we haven't really talked about it?
We have not talked about it.
Is anybody not going to be available? It's the week around Thanksgiving,
2 days before, yeah.
2 days before. We certainly don't right now have anything pressing, but you know how that goes, right? We can send out an email or whatever and see who's available if something comes up. Otherwise, I don't know if we're going to need a meeting.
Everybody's here, though? Everybody's available?
If we do, it would only be a few items that are really, time sensitive, but I don't know what it would even be right now.
Doesn't Brett have like a drumstick head hat maybe he wants to wear?
And a historical
I
fact.
should, I mean, yeah, well, turkey hat, maybe, I'll find something.
Is that from Friends?
Yes, that one.
So we'll send out a communication either way and let you know what our thoughts are when we get a little closer. How's that sound? But, all right, so I'd entertain a motion to adjourn then.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Butler, second by Schumacher. All in favor, say aye.
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 And we are adjourned. Thank you.
You can sit, Brett.